Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anshu Sharma. I'm research scholar of Gujarat University, and the title of my seminar paper is A Study on Women Entrepreneurship in Gujarat from 1818 to 1960. So, I'm going to start my seminar paper here. An enlightened woman is a source of infinite energy, said by Swami Vivekananda. Bharatvarsha is a land that has inspired the world in innumerable fields like urban settlement of its first Indus Valley civilization, religious knowledge of our holy books like Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Puranas, great history, wonderful economic prosperity, which made it famous as the land of golden bird. All this prosperity and development was not fully reached to our half of the population of India, that is, women of this land. This research is about those women who faced all the difficulties and finally became torchbearer of society, especially in British India. British rule in India started with the Royal Charter issued by Queen Elizabeth of East India Company. After the Battle of Buxar, company got Diwani right in Bengal, but they came in contact with Gujarat in 1612 when Surat became the center of it in West India. In Gujarat, rule of East India Company could be strengthened in the 19th century. The main objective of East India Company was to gain profit through trade. India became the supplier of raw material for the growing demand of its industry in Britain. To have better control on resources and consolidation of British rule, they felt the need of having better knowledge of society and its culture. This culture and social polity of British propagated cultural imperialism with the civilizing mission to control the mind of native and persuade them to appreciate Western culture and its superiority. Imparting Western education to Indians and ignoring the indigenous culture was part of British policy to influence the upper caste educated Indians. Indians were trained, given job in subordinate position in comparatively less salary than European. Gujarat was part of Bombay Presidency, and the progress of Bombay was felt in Gujarat province also, especially in the field of education. This progress in education promoted the emergence of new educated and intellectual group of males and females who came forward to improve society and women at large. Now I am going to tell you what is women entrepreneurship. Women entrepreneurs are those women who are innovative and have ideas to initiate, organize, and govern any enterprise or institution. They are capable of performing several tasks related to enterprise like resource collection, the appointment of labor force, and supplying products to the market and providing services to others. The Government of India has defined women entrepreneurship as an enterprise owned and controlled by women having a minimum financial interest of 51% of the capital and giving at least 51% of the employment generated in the enterprise to women. Aims and objective of my research are: we all know that still no sufficient and detailed analysis has been conducted to recognize the role of women in the economic field in our history. It is need of the hour to find the traits of the entrepreneur in colonial women who went against the social norms of that time. The study of this type of topic will encourage and motivate today's women entrepreneurs. The main objective of this research work are given: to know about entrepreneurship during the colonial India, to study the problem faced by and motivating factors behind women entrepreneurs of colonial period, to analyze the support given by British authority, if any, to study the role of the family in the success of women entrepreneurs, to find out the relation between family background, education and growth of women entrepreneurship, to identify the impact of social economic factor on women entrepreneurs. Traits of women entrepreneur. There must be something that encouraged women to come out from their houses and contribute something which was not done before. Those common traits were hard work, persistent, innovative ideology, visionary and far-sighted, and ready to accept challenges. The reason behind women enlightenment and their development as entrepreneurs might be women education, support from family and society, reformist movement, laws and schemes passed by the colonial government, Female entrepreneurs of Gujarat. Now, one by one, I am going to mention about all those who really did something different. And those are, first one, Harkoor Sethani. Nek Namdar Shekhawat Bahadur. Title was received by Harkoor Sethani, who belonged to a Jain family and gave her entire life for the upliftment of women's life. She was the first woman educationist and philanthropist of Gujarat. She opened a school for widowed girls and women who got training to become a teacher and could be financially independent. She donated money to open colleges like Gujarat Provincial College for famine relief work, for arranging funds to build hospitals. Due to her social work, she was praised by Governor Lord Elphinstone of Gujarat when he visited to inaugurate her hospital. The Gaikwad king honored her with chhatra, shawl, mashal, palki and title Chhopdar. Now the next woman entrepreneur, Gangaben Pranshankar Yagnik. She was a Gujarati writer, a teacher and Ayurveda practitioner. She was a child widow who swam against the tide and refused to tonsure her head and continued her education. Her writing, Veham Khandan Pothi and Devi Triya Nished, show her concern about social evil prevalent in Gujarati society at that time. She was one of the first women entrepreneurs who focused on Swadeshi and self-employment. She mentioned in her book about various cottage and small-scale industries ideas. She established Garbha Jeevan Aushadhalaya Hospital in Ahmedabad and Mansa. Now the next is Krishna Gauri Hiralal Raval. Krishna Gauri belonged to Brahmin family and married at the age of 11 with her school teacher Hiralal Raval. Due to her hard work and determination, first she became an assistant teacher and later head mistress of Lady Ray Kanya Shala in Lunavada. She encouraged others to complete their education. She was the one who tried to maintain balance in the personal and professional lives of women by valuing the traditional duties of so-called Gruhpriya by introducing new subjects like cooking and childcare. Next is Vidya Gauri Nilkant. Vidya Gauri Nilkant was born in a progressive family. She was the daughter of judicial officer and a granddaughter of a social reformer. She completed her secondary education from Anglo vernacular classes at Mahalakshmi Teachers Training College. With the support of her husband, she graduated from Gujarat College and becomes the first graduate along with her sister Sharda Mehta. She was associated with various educational and non-educational institutions like Lal Shankar, Umiya Shankar Mahila Pathshala, Mangan Bhai Karamchandra Girls High School, like Diwali Bai Girls School, Ranchhod Das Chota Lal Girls High School, Pratha Samaj, Mahipatram, Rupa Anant Ashram, All Indian Women Conference, etc. She started tailoring classes, adult education classes also. Once Mahatma Gandhi said, no celebration is enough for Vidya Bain because she is an ornament of Indian womanhood. The more we can honor her, the better. She is an ardent social reformer, but at the same time maintains our tradition. Her contribution in the society is endless, from being an educationist who introduced different subjects in curriculum, taught children, forced government to open primary schools in every part of the country. She was a social reformer who opened Gujarat Sri Kelavani Mandal to spread awareness program for women to get higher education. She was a wonderful writer too. Next is Sharda Mehta, a social worker, freedom fighter, essayist, biographer and translator, and so many. Sharda Mehta was one of the first 2 women graduates of Gujarat. She persistently worked for women's empowerment, opposed caste differences, worked for untouchability eradication, promoted Swadeshi goods, established a khadi store and a cooperative store called Apna Ghar Ni Dukaan. She was chosen for Baroda Praja Mandal and became a member of Ahmedabad municipality. She established Jyoti Sangh and Vanita Vishram Mahila Vidyalaya in Ahmedabad for women. She was a writer who wrote Puranoni Bal Bodhak Vartav, a children's storybook, Florence Nightingale's New Jivan Charitra, etc. She even wrote her autobiography named Jeevan Sambharna. Next woman in the list, Mithu Ben Petit, a great freedom fighter who came from the family of industrialists but went against her family and contributed fearlessly for the freedom of our country. In the several movements led by Bapu Gandhiji, she was fondly called Maji, and she was the part of all those. She founded a ashram Kasturba Vanatshara and taught various surviving economical skills like leatherwork, spinning, weaving, dairy farming for Adivasis and Harijan children. In the same institution, women learned stitching courses to start their own venture. In 1942, she even started a hospital for the mentally ill and challenged patient. Next in the list, Hansa Mehta. Hansa Mehta was an educator, writer, social activist, parliamentarian, and president of All India Women Conference. She became part of the Constituent Assembly and who emphasized on equality and justice for women in India. She was the Vice Chancellor of Maharaja Siaji Rao University of Baroda and Vice Chancellor of SNDT Women University, member of All Indian Secondary Board of Education, appointed as an Indian delegate on the UN Human Rights Commission, and highlighted the need for gender equality in opening line of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. She became the Vice Chairman of Human Rights Commission of United Nations. She was a member of Executive Board of UNESCO. Showing her literacy talent, she wrote several children's books in Gujarati, including Arunno Adbhut Swapna, and so many. She translated many English stories, including Gulliver's Travels. Her political career started with the winning of the Bombay Legislative Council election in 1937, being a general categories candidate. There was a significant development in the period between 1820 to 1960, where women came out from their houses and with fulfilling their traditional role. They even proved themselves in professional field also. They started institutions, organizations and philanthropists and industrialists. Nationalist movement to encourage these women to set up indigenous institutions in various parts of Gujarat. Kusumgari Hira Lal Ulthiram Raval said, if wife is uneducated and husband is educated, the family will not run smoothly. If women are educated on domestic management, then not only the family but the nation will also benefit. Our women entrepreneurs might be forced by circumstances to start their venture, but when they joined, it gave job opportunities to millions and proved better for everyone and improved the life of so many. As an entrepreneurs, they had to perform all the functions involved in establishing an enterprise or institutions. These functions may include resource management, idea generation, finalizing objectives, preparing the project, analyzing the outcome, finalizing the form of business organization, raising fund, appointing workforce, buying machines and materials, and operating business. My research indicated that all women who were mentioned in this paper did the same, as they all opened their institution, run the same, managed them successfully. So, in that sense, they all were entrepreneurs of India during the colonial rule. Thank you so much.